Xbox and Microsoft have shut down two pretty substantial game development studios. Arcane Austin, known for things like Dishonored and Prey, and Tango Gameworks, known for The Evil Within, and more recently, Hi-Fi Rush. What's up guys, it's Waifu Belector, the only fair human on Earth, and while this is an unfortunate turn of events, it isn't the most surprising. So let's talk about it a little. Because these are not irrelevant studios, there is a decent amount of fanfare surrounding both Arcane and Tango Gameworks. There are people who look forward to the things they do. It's because of that fanfare that we're talking about this at all. However, unfortunately, the mild clout that these two studios have is nothing in comparison to several other studios under the Microsoft Xbox banner. And these giant corporations like Microsoft, they don't get out of bed for anything less than major profitability. That major profitability either has to be there or they have to see the potential for it. I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying that that's what they do. And this is why I said that these shutdowns aren't particularly surprising. Because if you've paid attention to these studios, each one probably has one hit under their belt, and then a slew of games that range from okay to failures, in terms of sales and profits anyway. To be truthful, I wouldn't be surprised if this still happened even if ZeniMax was never bought by Microsoft, but then maybe ZeniMax would have sold them off rather than a flat out shutdown. However, another reason why this isn't quite so surprising is because more than these games just underperforming, these corporations miscalculate, right? These executives mismanage and miscalculate. They use studios as guinea pigs, right? They use the power that they hold as publisher to push them into doing things that they normally wouldn't do, that then doesn't pan out, and then makes the development studio make less money. And then when they don't make money, you say, oh man, we gotta let you go. And it's like, dude, you told me to do that. So that definitely is part of all of this, right? I don't know the exact degree to how much Microsoft or ZeniMax or whoever is putting their hand in the development telling you make this. And both of these studios have made games that didn't particularly sell very well before the Microsoft acquisition. So the complete percentage as to where the fuck ups are anybody's guess. But, you know, let's move on. But either way, we're here now. And emotionally, I'm only in the middle here. Don't get me wrong, if I could magically make all these people keep their jobs, I'd do it. But I'm talking about as I am, as a fan. I like Tango Gameworks. I played The Evil Within 1, I didn't play the second one, but then I played Ghostwire Tokyo and Hi-Fi Rush, and I just love how different their games were. I like that they would just do shit instead of doing the same thing. That was a big part of my praise for Ghostwire Tokyo, even though it was just an okay game. It was such a left turn from The Evil Within in terms of everything except for the tone. And then Hi-Fi Rush, which was a great game, was an even harder turn. There was really no telling what Tango was gonna do next. So I am a bit sad about it and sad for them. On the other hand, there's Arcane Austin, and I've just never really given a shit, to be honest. I don't play their games, I don't really like the aesthetics of their games. Even when I watched the gameplay and stuff, it just didn't look like things I wanted to play. And I didn't. The one time I got on board with one of their games was the one time they kinda ditched the retro future aesthetics in Redfall, and of course, that game was fucking dreadful. I've even talked about in the past how remarkable it was that Arcane had been allowed to fail for so long. None of their games really sold well since Dishonored. Even Dishonored 2 saw a steep decline. And that's what I meant when I said both Arcane and Tango have like one hit under their name. Because after The Evil Within, Tango's games sell poorly or okay. Even the critically acclaimed Hi-Fi Rush. But yeah, anyway, never really been a fan of Arcane. So in a human sense, I can feel for you, but as a fan, I don't really care, I gotta be honest. Another thing to note here for Arcane though is that This is Arcane Austin that's being shut down. That is like the main wing of Arcane Studios as far as I can tell, but not the only one. There is Arcane Lyon, who is currently working on the Blade game that was announced in 2023 at the Game Awards. Arcane Lyon is still intact, and a few key people from Arcane Austin are even being moved over there instead of being let go completely, just to make some stuff clear. It's still a huge cut, but the entirety of Arcane isn't gone. If you were curious, Arcane Lyon was specifically responsible for games like Dishonored 2 and Deathloop, and they're the ones who are sticking around. But back to this whole thing, and here's the thing. As I said, I care about Tango and not Arcane. But some people like Arcane and not Tango, and other people just like them both. But the majority group doesn't care about either one. That's the sad truth. And I'm not saying that because of that they deserve to get axed. If you're hearing that, it's because that's what you want to hear. I'm just talking about why this happened. I would have loved for more people to play Hi-Fi Rush. It was a great game. Hell, I would have loved for more people to play Ghostwire Tokyo. I would have loved if Redfall didn't suck balls. But those things didn't happen. So here we are. At the end of the day, voting with your wallet is the only thing that counts to these people, to these companies. So if there's a studio that made a game that you like, maybe give their next one a try, even if it looks like it might not be up your alley. Maybe when you play these games, if you have friends who play games, you tell them about the games, you encourage them to get it. I don't know, whatever is in your ability. Video games are expensive, we're not all rich. I mean, not only are they expensive to buy, they're expensive to make. So when they don't make money back, well, then I end up making videos like this. And I know I'm speaking about these studios not being the most popular and not making the most money, but there is no small degree of corporate fuckery, corporate mismanagement going on here. That is very much in play. The entire gaming industry made a fuck up gamble after COVID, where they just hired out the wazoo, pushed projects forward out the wazoo, because there was a massive surge in who was playing video games at the time, but that was because everybody was stuck in the fucking house. And now that people aren't stuck in the fucking house, clearly those numbers have gone down. And all these game publishers and corporate companies are going, oh shit, we're paying way more people than we can afford to be paying right now. Because we hired people like all those COVID players were gonna stick around. Anybody with half a brain could have told you that things were gonna die back down once we were all able to go back outside. But the series of layoffs that's been happening in the games industry is confirmation that many games executives do not possess half a brain. Anyway, obviously it would be nice if the folks at Arcane and Tango could land on their feet, settle down nicely, and slide right back into the rhythm of making games. And then what does this mean for like the franchises? I can't lie, I'd like to see a Hi-Fi Rush 2 at some point. But then if it happens and it's not Tango making it, I don't know what to expect in terms of quality, you know? At least as I mentioned, we know that the Blade game is still coming, it's still happening, and the people working on it appear to be safe from the cuts, for now anyway. But yeah, I guess that's all I want to say though. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I love you telling me how stupid and wrong I am. And please remember to like and maybe even subscribe if you enjoyed this. Until next time, I am Waifu Blector. I'm just a normal guy. I like hentai. And RIP Tango Gameworks. Goodbye.